Welcome to the Shine Your Light, Reach Your Best podcast. I'm your host, Claire Thomas. I'm on a mission to support women who feel stuck, unfulfilled and disempowered to have a successful, fulfilled, soul-led life. I guide women to reawaken their unique power so they can shine their light and reach their best. Whether you know it or not, you are an incredible, unique and powerful being, and you are here for a reason. Don't let it go to waste. This podcast is designed to support and enrich the Shine Your Light, Reach Your Best self-development coaching cards. If you have a deck, then I thank you for helping me to shine my own light. And if you haven't, then follow the link in the show notes and head on over to my website to get your deck. It will be the best, most loved investment you make this year. But for now, sit back, relax, and let's work out how to shine all our lights brightly. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Shine Your Light podcast. I'm delighted to have you join me today for this session. On Monday's Mindful Monday meditation, I picked a card just before the session, and that was the inspiration for Monday's meditation session, which you can go and look at on YouTube or on my website. The card that I selected was this one, just a lovely sparkly picture on it. It's not one of the nature inspired cards, but it is a really cool card. And the theme of this card is sing, laugh and dance with the confidence of your 3-year-old self. Now, this card I picked completely at random. I haven't planned what I'm going to say in this session because that's how I enjoy doing things this day, just leaving them to just be as they are and to the inspiration that comes to me at a particular point in time. So this is in fact the second card in my deck, but I picked it at random because my version of the deck has been shuffled and messed up as I've been showing it to people over the last weeks, and I'm just happy with that. So this is the second card, which if you choose to do the cards in order is one that you will stumble across pretty quickly. And if you don't, it could be one that you pick because you like the image on it, like I do. So it's all about childlike joy. And it says on the back, when was the last time you sang your heart out, laughed your head off, or danced until your feet hurt? So that's just some inspiration. I know that I often sing my heart out when I'm driving in the car, not just when I'm driving on my own, but it's a bit of a thing in our family to go on a car trip and have the music blaring out. Both of my daughters are really good at choosing fab playlists. So there's always a wealth of songs that we can sing to from many different genres of music as well. So that one is something that we do very regularly. Laughed your head off. That's one that I find a little bit harder to do. I absolutely love it when I can laugh my head off. But it doesn't come quite so naturally to me as it does to some people. It takes quite a lot for me to have one of those real deep belly laughter sessions. But wow, they feel so good when that happens. And dancing till your feet hurt. I can't even remember the last time I danced until my feet hurt. But a little practice that we haven't done for a while as a family, but it was something that we started, I think it must have been before lockdown, is coming home from school. And the first thing we did was to put on one of our favorite songs. At the time, I remember it, mine being Dance Monkey. And we would put that song on and we would dance around the kitchen for 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever the duration of the song was. And it was a fabulous way to create that boundary between being at work or school and then being back home again. And really, really highly recommend that as a bonding strategy, or just a self-care strategy that is very super easy to put in place. So why is it important, all of this dancing and singing and laughing and all these things? Well, what happens is when we experience this sort of joy, our brain releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, and it makes us feel joyful. And when we feel joyful, we attract more joy into our lives, and then everything starts to feel better. If you did Monday's meditation, you will have experienced me taking you back to when you were a child, when you were 3, 4, or 5, and you experienced childlike joy. I imagine we all have some sort of memory of yourself being completely absorbed in an activity where when you were doing it, you felt no concern or worry about what was going on around you. No beliefs were in place about what others might be thinking of you, how you looked, how long it was this activity was taking to do. You were just in the activity. You and the activity became one. And that is a way to experience something called a state of flow, when we're so absorbed in an activity that we enter a state of timelessness. Time just passes, time just is. And wouldn't that be amazing if we could experience that joy on a daily basis? And that's what this card is all about. So it's about, over the course of the week, just going back and remembering some of the things that brought you that joy when you were a child. It doesn't matter what they were. It doesn't matter how small they were, how silly they might seem to you now. The importance is remembering that that childlike joy exists within all of us at every moment, and we all have access to it at every moment. Just because we are grown up and adults and we have responsibilities to look after people, to earn money, to provide, and to be responsible, and maybe even a position of authority or someone that is respected, that doesn't mean to say that we don't have time and there isn't a place to experience childlike joy. We all have that within us. And I think it's very easy to get caught up in day-to-day life and forget that joy. And I know that that's something that I definitely experienced when I was commuting up to London, trying to get there. The precision of the routine of getting up to London was really, really tight. Just a few extra cars on turning out of a road could make the difference between catching a train or missing a train. And then on coming back home, there was just always so many things that had to be done before I could sit down and relax in the evening. And actually thinking about it, there probably was very little time to sit down and relax. And what happens when we start to slow down, when we give ourselves that space to have some childlike joy, and we put boundaries in place so that the things that feel like they're important take place within a container, so that we can then give ourselves a little bit of space for childlike joy. And what I think you will find will happen if, when you can do this, and I speak from experience, is that these moments of childlike joy, they fulfill us, they fill us up from the inside, and they bring us a great sense of fulfillment and of happiness. When I go back to what my childhood self is, I see myself in my bedroom when I was quite young. I think it would have been about 4 or 5, completely absorbed in making different things out of shoe boxes and tracing paper, or baking paper, actually, as it would have been, with scissors and glue and pens, and just without even thinking about how good it was or what it looked like, just making something. And since I have been on this new path of building a new business that inspires me and brings me joy, I make sure that I have a certain amount of time every week or every day doing activities that bring me joy. And for me, that is reconnecting with my creativity. So if you follow me, you'll know that I'm deeply into upholstery. I have way too many chairs that I've upholstered over the years. I like upcycling anything denim. So I have lots of pairs of jeans that have been given to me over the years. I upcycle into something. I've tried my hand at macrame, at candle making, at very, very many different things over the years. And it just gives me that ability to get into a state of flow and feel really connected with what brings me joy. So I think I've just about covered all I can on this particular topic for today. So the one thing that I urge you to do is to go out and spend a little bit of time each day this week, seeing how you too can experience some childlike joy. And I'd love it if you would share with me what you found and what you discovered when you did that. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shine Your Light, Reach Your Best podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, so please follow the show. I'd love you to like, comment and share this episode with anyone else whose light needs some help shining. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm open to having guests on my podcast. So if you would like to share your story, please send me an email to claire@reachingmybest.com or click on the link in the show notes. So for now, keep shining and reaching for your best.